Jim Daley, 170 Beverly Hill Road, Clifton. As many of you know, I'm a candidate for the Board of Education. I urge everyone to vote in this most important election on Tuesday, April 21st. I'm running on the Clifton 2009 ticket with Joe Yeamans, who's number 1 on the ballot, Michael Pachel, number 7, and I am number 5, 157. If you have any questions or just wish to check us out, we can be found on www.clifton2009.com. Our platform is straightforward: fiscal responsibility, money closer to the kids, restoring trust. I decided to run for the Board of Education out of a sense of frustration with the current situation at the BOE and out of a sense of duty and community service to my home city of Clifton. Since Dr. Rice came to town, I have seen this city divided like never before. I see at the Board of Education mismanagement and waste where there is no one held responsible. I see a total lack of decorum and respect for one another. If someone happens to disagree or with some of the commissioners, they are belittled and everything is personalized. I would have hoped that after Dr. Rice's departure, the pettiness and wasteful spending and out-and-out misinformation would cease, and we again would have the respect and honest dialogue about educating our children, where opinions are recognized as individuals' First Amendment right and as an essential part of a strong and respected government. Sadly, Dr. Rice's legacy still dominates the tenor and demeanor of the board. This theater of the absurd was on full display last Thursday's board meeting. After it was announced that the charges against Mr. Pachel were dismissed, and Mr. Pachel said it was time to move on, he considered the matter closed. However, those who have prosecuted this case against him still have not had their fill. Even more blood was called for. Deliberate misquoting of the ruling from the Ethics Commission, inflammatory behavior, board members calling people liars, and yet another feeble attempt to blame Mr. Pachel for a so-called violation of some mythical ethics code and cover up the excuse and expenditure of nearly $300,000 of taxpayers' dollars. Can anyone here tell me where the kids get out of this exercise? Two of my favorite stories are A Man from All Seasons and Les Miserables. In A Man from All Seasons, Sir Thomas More is a chancellor for King Henry VIII of England. Because the king wants to justify the divorcing his wife and marrying another woman, a law is decreed and every citizen of England is required to swear their allegiance to the king. Thomas becomes a holdout, and because he is an intelligent man with principles, he is able to avoid compromising his principles and still honor his position to serve the king and country. Many try to trip him up and catch him in inconsistent statements, but they are not successful. Finally, those in support of the king find someone to prejudice themselves, and Thomas is found guilty and sentenced to death. With his fate sealed, he is no longer bound to protect both he and his family, and he speaks out about an individual's responsibility to live up to principles of one's moral code. In Les Miserables, Jean Valjean is convicted of stealing bread during very desperate times and sentenced to prison. He is released from prison and changes his identity in violation of his parole. He is tracked down by Javert, a constable who is consumed with enforcing the letter of the law, not justice. Eventually, Javert cannot accept the fact that Jean Valjean has remade himself. Jean Valjean takes on the mantle of service and responsibility to improve the lot of his fellow man who are suffering from the ills and economic turmoil of his time. Since Javert cannot reconcile his passion for the letter of the law with Jean Valjean's moral high ground, he is lost and commits suicide. The common thread in both these stories is that some individuals hope to achieve their ends and find their moral character in things obscure and self-serving instead of looking to the heart and soul of good men and women for direction. I am asking my fellow citizens to look inside your heart and souls this election, and together we can turn the city from its long nightmare that we've been experiencing over the past 8 years. We need to return to a course based on respectability and honor. This school district and the city of Clifton has much to offer and much to be proud of. We still need to turn things around before we start heading in the right direction again. Thank you very much for your time.